Texas is facing an extremely dangerous winter storm in the coming days. A disaster declaration has already been declared for all 254 counties in Texas.
Austin Private Wealth shorted 12 million shares of Donald Trump's stock on July 12th.
Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight I got some more creepy videos that are gonna break your reality. So if you guys got your snacks ready, let's go ahead and check these out.
Texas is facing an extremely dangerous winter storm in the coming days. A disaster declaration has already been declared for all 254 counties in Texas. Every part of the state of Texas will face freezing conditions, meaning that includes all the way down to Brownsville, Texas, will face freezing conditions over the coming days. Many of those locations across the state of Texas, the high temperature for a day will be in the single digits. The severity of the cold weather that is about to be experienced here in the coming days is unprecedented in Texas history. And we need people across the state to get ready for this extremely harsh conditions that are coming.
How the heck is Texas going to experience single digit weather in the middle of freaking July? Like, if this doesn't prove that they are manipulating the weather, I don't know what does. Because, like, it makes absolutely no sense to me how that's even possible. What do you guys think? More coincidences? Let me know in the comments.
Austin Private Wealth shorted 12 million shares of Donald Trump's stock on July 12th. So here's everything that you need to know about Austin Private Wealth. Because if it's not an input error, it's definitely not intentional, right? As you can see, an event starkly reminiscent of strange trading activity just before the what attacks in 2001? On July 12th, do keep in mind, a day before July 13th, 12 million. Ironically, Austin Private Wealth's highest shareholders just so happen to be BlackRock and Vanguard. So what is a put option, people might ask? Well, like it says here, I pulled this good article that explains it very thoroughly. Ironically, a put option is an investment made by someone who expects a company's stock price to fall. I have no idea why they worded it wrong right there, but this still explains it pretty clearly. People who engage in inside trading by put options can make 5 times or sometimes even 100 times profits, depending on how quickly the stock plummets. And like it says here, hypothetically, if Trump did die in the assassination attempt, his company would have become worthless. Its stock would have become zero in a day. And hypothetically, the people who bought put options would have made billions in profit. The action that was taken was they shorted 12 million shares of Donald Trump's stock. Now this is the most important part, right? The potential impact that they listed was a significant loss supposedly for the company. What? And as you can see, this portfolio impact was nearly a quarter of their entire portfolio. And their portfolio value was about $1 billion in assets under management. And as you can see, in case of events like Trump's death, the value of Trump Media and Technology Group shares would have plummeted, and the put options held by companies such as the Austin Private Wealth would have been worth billions. Also, supposedly according to reports, ironically, Austin Private Wealth has also bought 36 million puts of Rumble on July 12th the same day. And supposedly, like it says right here, it's common knowledge that Rumble stock would have plummeted too if something had happened to Trump. Do keep in mind, these are all different articles, okay? Now, this is the most interesting part of it all, right? Some of Austin Private Wealth's top holdings, as reported in their latest 13F filing, include the Rothschild family, BlackRock, Vanguard, Meta, George Bush, and the Cheney family. What? And like it says here, Trump's death would have crashed the NASDAQ and DOW Jones for a week. And hypothetically, supposedly according to some estimates, anyone who had this knowledge beforehand would have made an estimated $696 billion to $1 trillion in profits. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that just a month ago, BlackRock and Citadel Securities started backing a TXSE group to launch the Texas Stock Exchange. And as you can see earlier this year, specifically in March, BlackRock created a fund with Securitize, supposedly a big player in real-world asset tokenization. And of course, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, aka my fucking grandfather, said in an interview earlier that the company's filings for spot Bitcoin and other ETFs were stepping stones towards tokenization. And have you noticed what Ken Griffin's latest investments have been, aka the CEO of Citadel Securities? Because when you do, things start to get really interesting. And ironically, this just so happened to happen in 2020. I'm sure you can read that for yourself, right? And why might that be so important? Well, because one of Ken Griffin's major investments just so happened to be in Amazon. And wow, you can easily find things just like this. This was in 2022, right? Amazon leaks Greek what project? Everything starts to make sense eventually.
Hey, isn't that interesting? they shorted Trump stacks days before the attempted deletion of Trump. What's also interesting is that they also shorted the stock market prior to 9/11 happening. Isn't it interesting that the company behind that group is BlackRock? Is all a coincidence, right? So I don't know what's going on there, but could it be that they're just psychic, or do you guys think there's something else going on behind the scenes there? But what I could tell you is that there's a lot of them that are really pissed off right now that what I thought was going to happen didn't happen, and that they ended up losing 25% of their portfolio for no reason. You guys let me know in the comments what you think.
You were meant to find this video. Are you not curious about why we are told that all ancient marvels like these were built with basic tools like chisels and hammers? Today, we dive into where this incredible knowledge came from. It all stems from the land of Mu, a massive continent conveniently left out of mainstream history books. This is where it gets much deeper. There is an article by the Courier Journal that came out in 1925, nearly 100 years ago, and it detailed Colonel Church's records. It mentions that some people were brought to India by flying machines from this land called Mu. These records also claim that Mu is the motherland of mankind and the home to the Garden of Eden. This is where it relates to all these buildings. In Mu, they had cities with palaces made from marble. They mastered the quarrying and transporting of gigantic stone blocks. Sounds like ancient Egypt to me. But they also carved those blocks into weird resemblances of human faces. What does this sound like to you? The records go on to suggest that the people of Mu navigated the air and sailed to distant lands with this rich cargo. But here is where it gets even crazier. This shows that the technology of flight existed long before the Wright brothers. Their story of creating the first plane in the 1800s is a massive lie. The information was stored for centuries and slowly released to us. Secondly, the records mention that Mu is in the Pacific Ocean. Either the Pacific Ocean has been named the Pacific Ocean for the last 13,000 years, or the land of Mu is much closer to our timeline. This brings us to the theory that there are perhaps hidden islands bigger than Easter Island kept off our maps and flight paths. What if current planes are flying around these hidden lands, circling areas of forgotten knowledge?
It makes you think, like, how could they have possibly created such buildings only using a hammer and chisel? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I always think there's something missing in these tales of how people build everything in the past. Like, they had to have some type of technology that we're not aware of right now. And it's a possibility that there might be an island out there that we have not discovered, or that they're keeping it hidden from the public by designating no-fly zones and not showing it on the maps. The ocean is huge. The earth is really huge. And there's a part of the ocean. Let's put it this way. On that side of the map, there's more water than there is continental land. So we couldn't have explored every single bit of all those waters, is what I'm saying. It's a possibility. Either is there something out there that we haven't discovered, or it sank. That island of Mu could have been Atlantis, for all we know. It's just with a different name. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
Now, switching to something even more important. The FBI has come out and said that they, for whatever reason, are not going to be able to access this lone shooter's phone. Guys, nope, they can't do it. No. You know, the FBI, the NSA, the people that you speak a sentence, you're like, hey, I like those pair of jeans. And then suddenly the pair of jeans appears on your phone and you're going, is my phone listening to me? Yeah. The FBI, and the NSA, all of the intelligence agencies which were quickly established after 9/11, because they were going to rescue us from terrorists. No, in reality, they were the terrorists. They are the terrorists. I think we understand that now. The intelligence agencies are the terrorists. What they actually want to do is have more access and more data than ever before. That FBI, those intelligence agencies, well, you're not going to believe who got them. This dweeby-looking BlackRock sponsored, potentially, at least we know that he was in, I should be more clear here. Obviously, we know the shooter was featured in a BlackRock ad, which is immediately suspicious. But this guy, who doesn't even look like he can grow facial hair, has somehow baffled the FBI. Yeah. Doesn't even like he get a little stubble on his chin, but he has somehow baffled the FBI. They are going, we cannot get into this phone. Have you guys also seen, by the way, since we're talking about this, please tell me you saw this, that both of his parents are behavioral psychologists. I mean, seriously, bury me, guys, just bury me. I can't do it anymore. Once you recognize that our intelligence agencies are crooked, they are murderers, they shot a sitting president, and who was driving down the street in Dallas with his wife, waving, and they do these things and then send their little media operation mockingbirds to delude the public. And some of the public bites this. They go, no, maybe it really is that difficult to get into this iPhone that they can't find this information. But once you accept that, you start to look at these situations when you see that the two parents, and I'm not accusing them of anything, but I have questions. I'd like to know more about these parents. What kind of a behavioral psychologist would produce a child that's capable of doing this?
They cannot get into the guy's phone. Like, why would they need to get into the phones? Like, from what? From all the WikiLeaks documents, we know that they've been just like compiling data that they don't have to get into our phones. They have all the data already compiled somewhere. I don't know. It just doesn't add up. Again, with BlackRock, the guy that was supposed to be connected to the shooting is a previous employee of BlackRock. Shorted the stocks from Donald Trump days before. Let me know what you think.
Wait a minute. What? Oh, I'm going to break it down. I'm about to blow your mind with the information about Blackstone, so stay till the very end. This is freaking me out. It's almost funny how much I'm getting banned right now. So just look at my pinned videos. Both pinned videos have a ton of views. The one that does not have any views is the one you should watch, because that's what they're trying to keep from you. That's my hint. Now let's get to the Blackstone information. Blackstone beats genetic privacy suit over ancestry acquisition. So Blackstone now owns all the genetic information you send to them if you ever were like, I want to find out where I'm from. Ancestry.com. Blackstone Incorporated defeated a proposal, class action, alleging that its $4.7 billion acquisition of Ancestry.com. $4.7 billion to own your DNA. Sounds like a deal to me. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit said Monday that plaintiffs Carolyn Bridges and Raymond Cunningham, good for them, by the way, that they even did this lawsuit. They just didn't have enough information. The court affirmed a lower court's dismissal of the lawsuit for failure to state a claim. That just means you got a bad lawyer or you're not really doing it right. But just in case you guys gave your DNA away because you wanted to know if your ancestors were from Britain or Ireland, they own you now. And with this awesome genetic manipulation called the mRNA, you don't think that all kind of come together right now over you? Yeah.
She did a little bit too much there, but yeah, I was never willing to buy into that whole DNA testing. It didn't make sense to me. Like, why would I give these people my DNA just to find out where I'm from? I already know where I'm from. I don't need to go any deeper than that. Like, what? I always thought that there might be something hidden behind with this conspiracy about cloning. They could delete anybody now and create a clone and replace you. If you guys gave your DNA away, yeah, you better be careful. Next thing you know, you have a doppelganger knocking at your door. Just make sure you don't open.
Shaking or heard a loud boom this afternoon, you were not alone. People across 6 states reported feeling the impacts of what NASA now describes as a meteor. And tonight, News 4's Chucky Beckford explains how close that fireball came to Midtown Manhattan.
The sky over New York City already attracts plenty of attention, but today,
I don't know if we really had to ever think about that in the New York area.
people were looking up at more than the skyscrapers.
You have to have one bright enough, and it has to be right over New York to get all that attention.
Scientist Bill Cook, who leads NASA's Meteoroid Environments Office, is talking about a fireball, one bright enough to be seen in daylight.
Daytime fireballs are fairly rare, and New Yorkers got to see one this morning.
And boy, did they get an eyeful.
I got up, I'm looking like this way for about 3 seconds. It was like almost horizontal.
Judah Bergman's Lakewood, New Jersey office surveillance video shows him getting out of his chair and rushing to the window.
It just caught my eye. I saw a fireball just streaming through the sky. I couldn't believe it.
He turned to the place where many of us go for answers. the internet.
I looked up pictures on Google, and that's pretty much what I saw.
Some witnesses claim that space rock charted a picture-perfect course right above Lady Liberty's head. NASA scientists, though, say they're not quite sure. Cook says they have only 15 documented witnesses. The fireball was first spotted over New York Harbor, but where it went next.
We lack camera data and satellite data for this event. I'm just going off what the eyewitnesses said. So I can tell you it was definitely a meteor. It moved about 34,000 miles per hour, and it ended up over Midtown Manhattan. Anything else is pretty uncertain.
And despite accounts like that of Travis Fetchin, who was in his Secaucus office,
and I just hear this boom, and all of our windows shook.
Cook is confident the approximately 1 foot wide meteor did not cause the sonic booms reported by some. Jackie Beckford reporting, News 4, New York.
Okay, so first of all, they don't have any data as to what happened to the meteor, but they are sure it's a meteor. They don't have any data, they don't have any pictures, they don't have anything, but what they're sure of is that it was a meteor without any data. They know it passed over Manhattan. There's people reporting sonic booms and windows shaking and loud noise. They're also saying that the meteor could not have caused a sonic boom, and that they also don't know where the meteor ended up. They have no information as to what happened. Nobody knows where it fell because nobody's reported that the meteor fell anywhere. What could it be? Because if a meteor doesn't fall, then it's not a meteor. If you have no data, how can you say that it is a meteor? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think is happening here because I have no idea.
She's from a show which you may or may not have heard from called Orange is the New Black. It was a pretty big mega series. Millions of people have watched it. And she decided to post this video on her social media calling on Biden to be that assassin.
Joe, you're a reasonable man. You don't want to do this, but here's the reality. This is a war. This is a war now, and we are fighting for our country. And these assholes are going to take it away. They're going to take it away. Joe, you now have the right to take that Trump out. Take him out, Joe. If he was Hitler and this was 1940, you'd take him out. Well, he is Hitler and this is 1940. Take him out.
Like we needed any further proof that these guys are literally deranged, that they think that it's perfectly acceptable at this point to take themselves on social media, people with millions of viewers, and say, yeah, let's just murder this guy.
That's just horrible. That's just nasty. For a public figure to be requesting of a president to delete somebody because they disagree with their policies or the way they act or the way they behave is unbelievable. The news is not doing much better because, like, as you can see in this video, they're already trying to point out that this is how Democrats are. I don't think this is an issue with whichever party you vote for. I think this is an issue with the person speaking and requesting the president to do something. It has nothing to do with who they're voting for. You can't just label everybody that vote for one party or the other to be crazy. That's not how things work. Yes, she's a Democrat, I guess. She's freaking cuckoo, but it's not because she's a Democrat that she's cuckoo. I think she's cuckoo to begin with and she decides to go with the Democrats. That's all there is to it. So they're just trying to divide us whichever way they can. I mean, we just can't fall for this stupidity and just listen to what the media is saying because in the end, they all have the same goal, which is divide and conquer. So
Okay, guys, OMG. There was someone who actually predicted that Donald Trump was going to get shot in the ear back in March. Take a listen.
I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash.
I mean, is everybody as shook by that as I was when I saw it? I went, what is going on? And it's not even just accurately predicting that he would survive it and that it would hurt his ear, and that in and of itself is unbelievable. But then even the fact that he predicted that immediately following this, the lawsuits that people were throwing at him would be dropped. That quite literally happened.
It is unbelievable that he was able to predict everything, even the lawsuits getting dropped. But what's worrying me is that if he was that up to the point with his prediction, I hope the other part of that prediction doesn't come through, which is the economy completely crashing. Apparently, his video talking about what he saw was posted back in March, and it's on YouTube if you guys want to see it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that he was able to accurately predict this? Do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think maybe? Let me know down in the comments.
If you live in Michigan, you're going to want to hear this. So recently, our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, just signed a new bill into law, and you're not going to guess what it's for. The bill prevents recounts and audits of the election results. And if you don't believe me, Google it for yourself. So why in the world would a governor want to restrict access to making sure that our elections are protected for the integrity of Americans and for the integrity of our democracy? These people are blatantly showing their hand now. Okay, election rigging was just a conspiracy theory at first. Now we have our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, literally signing a bill to prevent recounts and audits of the election results. Now, why in the world would she do that? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? That's why the mass immigration was pushed so hard under Joe Biden. If you think this is only going to affect Michigan, you're wrong. And that's why yesterday 198 Democrats voted against the SAVE Act, which would provide only American U.S. citizens the right to vote. These people have forgotten completely that they work for the American people. They work for us, and now they think they can do whatever the hell they want and nothing's going to happen to them. Okay, so share this video, get it out, get the word out that Gretchen Whitmer is literally trying to prevent any kind of recounts or audits in our election.
That is freaking crazy. How the hell are they gonna... Was she able to pass that bill? How the hell are you gonna prevent people from double checking and recounting the votes just to make sure that everything is legit? That right there just spells a dictatorship, pretty much. Like, they don't want to give up power, and they know that they're about to lose it. This is not looking good. Them not wanting to keep the votes just for American citizens? That's even more crazy. Like, it makes sense if you're letting all these illegal immigrants into the country, and now you're trying to pass a bill where like anybody can just vote. Who do you think those people are going to vote for? The person that let them in, which was a Democrat. So I think they're just trying to rig the elections. Like you said, the whole thing about the elections being rigged, being a conspiracy, yeah, it was a conspiracy. I didn't even believe it myself. So, but now it's all looking like it might have been true, and we didn't listen. I hope we're mistaken and this is not actually what's happening. But you guys go ahead and share this video, or go to his page, share his video to people you know, so that we could get more people aware of what's happening, because this is not looking good for us. And that's the video for tonight, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit those comments so that we could go over what we saw tonight. See you next video. Peace out.